Okay, well, in the case, Daniel, if we can start with your background in game development and your role on this project.
Yeah, I mean, my background is mostly as a game developer, but I'm also a musician, and this is the first jam in a while that I actually spent uh, almost the whole time working on music and sound effects, which normally I don't get to do. Normally I have to rush, use 5% of my time to make something quickly with music. This is the first time in a while I've actually made a full soundtrack, multiple pieces, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out.
Excellent. So I'll make sure to, yeah, there we go. We should be hearing that now. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit on my end, but it should be audible to everyone else. I just want to make sure it's not overwhelming if we're trying to speak. Okay. Cool. Mini David, thank you for updating the game, but I will probably be getting to it another day at this point. Okay, so we are... Shogun, I see that you're back. Is everything good on your end? Oh, hello? I can't seem to hear... Oh, okay. Not sure... Shogun, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, there we go.
I'm so sorry about this.
No worries, we can hear you now. So I was just
told
asking...
my friend I'm cursed.
It happens to everyone. Don't worry about it. Hello, Orange. Greetings from a game studio in Utah. Welcome to the channel. We are just doing an interview. I'm joined by Daniel and Big White Shogun. Shogun, can you talk a little bit about your background in game development and your role on this project?
I'm a pure hobbyist. I've been doing jams for quite a few years with various successes, and yeah, working on one game now, nearly finished for the last 2 years. Hopefully next project will be a commercial one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I want to make sure that everyone who is participating had the opportunity to give a plug or shout out to what they're working on. So do you want to, like, since you mentioned it, do you want to bring up what your most recent project?
It'll be free to play, like our first bigger game. We're not gonna sell it, and we don't know where we're gonna publish it. And where? Probably on itch.io, but we don't have any website, nothing to follow really.
All right. And Daniel, how about you? Is there any other projects that you're working on right now that you'd like to give a shout out to or plug?
Well, I'm mostly working on a professional project, but that's not public, so no plug to give here.
Okay, that's all right. All right, I think I found the first seed of the game, but I don't know how. So I can. Oh, okay, I can pick it up like that, and then I can throw it at... Okay. Well, that's killed one enemy, at least. And then grow this here. And... Oh.
Hey, Shogun, someone in the comments asked what font this is.
Custom made.
Yep.
Nice.
I really don't like it. We just...
Oh, well.
It was the font we had for some other project a long time ago. I sadly ran out of time to make custom for this game.
That's totally fine. I mean, it's like, whoa, oh gosh. We got some real height jumps to make here. Didn't make it, but at least we got a checkpoint, I guess.
I would really recommend to not press the jump button too long, because you can regulate the height of your jump.
Yeah, so it's you can jump extra high or...
Mm-hmm.
Got it. I appreciate that you can sort of mash to skip the animation, make the plant grow a little faster.
You can completely skip it if you want.
Okay, so let's... Hey up.
I made them slightly too long, and my friend who's a programmer, he got fed up with it pretty quickly. Which I totally understand and I agree with. Because I was planning at first to shorten them up, and this, I feel, is a better solution. If someone wants, can watch it grow. If someone doesn't, they can skip it.
Yeah, I think it's a good compromise. Like having the ability to skip it is really nice. Because the actual animation itself is really nice, and I think you would want to see it play through the first time. But the more you end up playing the game, the faster I think you want that to be. So, where did the inspiration behind this game come from?
I believe the first game that was proposed was, I think it was Super Mario 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
NES, the American version, obviously, because they never released the proper Super Mario in the West, and the version West was like a hack of other game Nintendo released, and you could
Doki
like
Doki
pick
Panic.
up, you could pick up turnips and stuff from the ground. So we started with this. And we all love Metroidvanias, so open world, stuff like that, side scrollers. So we try to combine those two together.
Yeah, and then from there we just wanted to have an interesting setting, so we decided to make it crash landing on an alien planet. Then we have alien planets, which are a lot cooler than regular planets.
Yeah, as you warned, some of them are not. Well, some of them might not be. How did you phrase it on the page?
The plant life might not be vegetarian.
Right.
It was a cheesy line, but.
Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly address the chat. Orange, the plugging is for the people who are actively participating in the interviews. So if you submit your game and you participate in an interview, then you'll have an opportunity to plug at that point. But yeah, I agree. The tile set is really nice. Is that something that was made uniquely for the Jam?
This one, yes. There are
really
more
nice.
tile sets.
So were there some that you reused from other places? Is that what you mean?
The second two, not fully reused. I would more say like recycled them.
Sure.
Because they were never fully completed. Like you couldn't make those any different shapes with them than basic squares. And I also fixed some shading on them, changed colors, stuff like that. Made a lot of additional tiles specifically for this game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's a big part of working on many different projects is just finding creative ways to reuse assets. Like I know I have done that a lot with the some of the Jam games I've made because you have so little time. You need to utilize your resources as best as possible.
Especially when you make Metroidvania, right? Because you want diversity, because you can get bored pretty quickly. And I felt like that was the best compromise. I still felt like I need at least one brand new tile set to feel right about it. And this is the one I got.
Yeah, I think that just making the areas distinct from each other is... Oh, okay, cool. I just had to take a second to figure out how I get up there. Yeah, just in terms of being able to like mentally keep track of where you're going, I think that's where it's really important to make the zones look visually distinct from each other. Because if you don't have that sense of like where are you going, then you just get confused and lost. So
yes, at some point we are hoping we can make like a very basic primeval version of some sort of minimap.
Mm-hmm.
But it got obvious pretty quickly that's not gonna happen. So I opt out for more straight-lined experience. What I mean by that, it's hard to get lost here. Because the loops are pretty small. Yes, more linear. Gotcha. With some hidden pickups you can come back for. But
yeah, those little like diamond things I've been picking up. Yeah.
What was the name, Daniel?
The artichokes.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if Daniel mentioned before, but we really love puns The worse pun, the better.
I mean, is there any other kind? All right. So, in terms of the other questions I have here, what was the actual development process like for the game?
You want to answer first, Daniel?
Well, this was our first jam with this team of the three of us. I think it went really smoothly because the development process was very, we all worked together well, talking about ideas for the games and stuff. Then we all kind of went to our own lane. Normally I work on all aspects of the game, but this time I just worked on music and sound effects, so I really focused on just making that good. Shogun here just focused on making the art and the level design really good, and the other programmer just focusing on mechanics. So we all just kind of focused on our thing and just communicated. So I think the process went really well.
Can I guide you a little bit, since we have limited time?
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
Yeah, you like going back the same loop. I would recommend grab this bubble one and climb back up.
Okay,
the rocket.
sure. Whoa!
And from there, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna get killed by this guy. But that should respawn me here. Okay.
You can also grab seed from the other scene. Bring it back.
Okay, is there... Do I have to redo this challenge now? I think I do. I don't see another way back.
Yes, sadly. That's the one I forgot.
Yeah. I did.
Because there are two checkpoint systems in the game. There are proper checkpoints with a little flag when you pass them through, and also whenever you pick up a seed, that's when your position gets saved, just so people cannot like cheap out of the challenge and need to beat it to learn the new power they've got.
We should probably maybe add another checkpoint.
Yeah, I was thinking about adding one on top.
So this is what you meant. Should come up this way.
Sorry if I interrupt any one of you, but I have slight delay because I'm on the other end of the world.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, so I can't go to the right, gotta go to the left. And now there's a... Oh god, I got myself killed. Please tell me I... Oh no, I respawned back at the bottom
just
again.
Before checkpoint.
Yeah, see,
yeah, of course.
That's what happened to me before. That's the worst
my
place
fault.
to die.
I'm extremely sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm getting real used to this now, so I'll get back up there in no time.
I know it can be weird when you spend most of the time with the bubble, where your gravity is different and you're more floaty, and when you don't have it, it can do weird things to your brain sometimes. Get some time to get used to.
All right.
There was a question I was supposed to answer, but I forgot.
Yeah, just I was asking you about the development process for the game.
So, before Jam, I was really excited. But not going into much details, I'm not gonna lie, I had some sort of like artistic blockade at first day. And I'm really upset about it because I wasted most of the first 24 hours just staring blank at Asprite, not being able to come up with anything I was happy with. Like, even now, I really hate how the main character looks. I think it's way too simplistic compared to the rest of the environment and even some enemies. Like, all 3 types of enemies I did in just like less than an hour rushing on Monday. So I had no time, and I think they look way better than the main character I had whole day to do. So yeah, that was really bad. But after I've managed to create the first tile set, everything kind of clicked. And I had other responsibility, which is level design and building a world. And when you make Metroidvania, it has to be kind of big and chunky, so you can enjoy getting power-ups and stuff like that. So it's going to be small. And with my experience from the past, the issue was we always left we always leave making levels at the end, which always ended up really poorly for us because we ran out of time. We had to cut the content. We would have some mechanics developed. We didn't have time to place in. So after I've done the main character and obviously main pickups, sprites, assets for it, I went straight to developing level designs. I gave myself around 12 hours, right, to make all of it. From Sunday, I didn't sleep on Monday. I had to do. I've done what 36 hours in a row from Sunday.
Don't be
kind of used to doing
discouraged.
that.
I think this is the hardest part of the game. The difficulty goes slowly downhill from this part. So if you get past this, you'll be okay.
I was just like, I'm wondering, like, how do I not take damage here? Oh my god.
You just need to time it, like push it to the limits. Yeah, and the turn left. Yes, exactly. But here you need to slightly use your gliding momentum when you jump.
Okay, I mean...
Does it have extra...
No. Okay, can I plant more than one of these and then... No, I can't. Okay,
You
wow,
can if you're fast enough, because the bubble bursts.
Oh my gosh, okay.
After time.
You only need one though. You don't have to do that.
Yes, the game was intended. I have really bad reputation because, as I mentioned before, I leave level design at the end. I run out of time, so I wanna cramp everything we have, which makes levels sometimes, most of the times, pretty overload and really difficult. So I got some slack for it. So I made extra sure I'm not gonna do it this time and make the game. If I feel the difficulty is just enough, just right, that means it's probably way too hard for normal people. Because when you're a developer, you make games, you're more used to it when you play test it over and over and over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I can destroy breakable walls, which lets me go this way. Please don't die. Oh jeez. Okay, but the heart fruit regrew. Good. Yeah, this is I can see all the different. Oh, that was just for fruit, or the joke. I forget what it's called. Let me get back.
Oh, you won't be able to go back. This is specifically designed so you cannot go back.
Oh, I was supposed to go forward, I guess. Okay. No problem.
Nice. I can see you adapting already with the jumps.
Yeah, you're getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. I mean, and then I just jump straight into the spike. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Please continue.
Oh no. Is there any coyote time in the game?
Is there like a time limit?
No.
I think there is 0.1 seconds of coyote time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is coyote time, definitely. Like 90% of our games are platformers, and we learn pretty quickly that you need coyote jump.
Yeah, I just noticed that there have been a few times that I've like walked off a platform and gotten myself killed, so I wasn't sure.
Are you playing on a controller?
Yes, I am.
What controller are you using?
It's a Xbox controller.
Okay, and you're probably playing on a D-pad?
I'm playing with an analog stick actually, but...
Yeah, so with analog, the problem is sometimes you don't feel it, but you can turn your analog slightly tilted at the angle to down, like right down, and when you press jump, game recognizes it as you trying to jump through the platform instead of jumping. So your character won't jump, it will just try to jump down. So you just walk down, and we cannot find solution for it yet. We've been struggling with it the whole day. The controller in Unity, in WebGL builds, behaves really weirdly and made a lot of confusion for us, because if you play it on a web build with a controller, we don't know why, but that analog down and jump doesn't work on platforms for no reason. Oh no, it does work. What happens is the Unity reverses y-axis, so you need to actually press up to jump down, which is really confusing, and we have no clue why it's happening.
Oh, that's I mean, I guess the only thing you could really do is like try to add some sort of flag that checks what platform you're building, what platform you're currently playing on, and then yeah.
By the way, you're close to the finish.
Okay. Well, it has been very challenging to get this far, so hopefully that lines up nicely.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Daniel, did you have anything that you wanted to say on your end about the development process of the game?
I think I pretty much covered it before.
Okay.
I guess one thing I could say is that this was also the first time I've ever written chiptune music before. So that was a really big difference in my development this time. Yeah, normally I use more like real instruments or MIDI instruments if I have to. But yeah, I found some good tools for it. There's a thing called NES VST that you can use to make chiptune sounds, and did some research on how chiptune music is made, and yeah, I think it was pretty fun to try this genre of music and think it fits the game well.
So which program in particular did you actually use to make the music?
So I made it. So I just used this VST. So I used just a regular DAW. So like I used Studio One, but it's kind of irrelevant which DAW you use. Basically, I played everything on my keyboard and recorded it, and then I just used these chiptune sounds to make it sound like it's playing from a Game Boy or something. But really, I'm just playing all this on the keyboard.
Yeah, I guess I don't know enough about music production, so when that's why I was asking, like, oh, what program did you use? Like, well, that's just as far as I understand things. Oh no. So then the next question I have here is, what was the most difficult problem that you encountered during the jam, and what was your solution?
What do you think, Shogun?
Could you repeat the question? Because I was answering someone in the chat and I didn't hear properly.
Yeah, no worries. I was asking what was the most difficult problem that you encountered during your development, and how did you solve it?
That would be the blockade first day. Like first day, I really felt miserable. I've been struggling with depression for some time, so I wasn't developing much at the end of the last year, because I'm at the point, you probably have been there, where I lost all the passion for the project I've been working on for the last 2 years. I'm so close to finishing it, but I feel like I'm going on fumes. So I kind of hope the jam would help me like reignite the passion for making games, because it's like my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I opened the Asprite and I couldn't make anything that I would be happy with. Like everything looked for me worse than what I've done before, and I didn't know why. As a best example, I've been struggling with the main character to make a simple walk animation, and I've done walk and run animations for countless characters before. So it felt like really devastating when you could do something before and now all of a sudden you cannot.
Well, I think as Infinite Awesomeness is saying, and as I would agree, I think the art looks fantastic. So I'm sorry that it wasn't up to your standards, but I think that maybe you're judging yourself a little too harshly, because I think that the character looks great. Oh.
This is the last section of the game, by the way, so don't get discouraged. It's supposed to be slightly harder. So the thing was like what helped. If I was working on it alone, I would probably quit that Saturday morning. Because I was working with 2 other people, and to be fair, I was the person who asked them to come and join me together. I felt like extra huge responsibility, like you don't want to fail them. So obviously you force yourself to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, right? And finally, I've managed to do that first tile set. And it felt great. It looked nice. I was really happy with it. The only thing I don't like is that it's maybe too realistic, not as cartoony as everything else. Maybe I've overdone it, but that gave me this burst of confidence, right? And then from there, it was just getting better and better. Like, I would say I got rusty. Yeah, and I just needed some time to like help myself remember how to do stuff and things. And yeah, from there it was amazing. But I would say like good job.
Yeah, I finally got to the end. Please continue.
I would say what helped me the most, I would say the most work was done on second and last day.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset I wasted that first day, because game could be even more better. I think I could have done some main menus properly, something for credits, maybe some sort of simple cutscene, you know, stuff like that. Always hurts. I'm only happy that I decided to start creating world before I finished all the visual assets. As I mentioned before, I didn't want to cut anything because we have really nice mechanics. I loved all the fruits. I still feel like we undercut the last one, the bulb. It doesn't have much presence, only those two last sections, and it has an extra, like we tried to have like dual functionality for almost all of them except for the basic one. And the light bulb, when you shut it, can actually stun enemies, and it's implemented in the game, and we just run out of time to do anything with it. And I think it would be way worse if I didn't make the conscious decision to start making world and building like a plain basic level, no backgrounds, nothing, on Sunday already. And then I knew I have no time for sleep on Monday, so I powered through and made the enemies and whatever was needed.
Oh, jeez. So, I gotta ask, in general, when you're working on your project, how often are you sharing what you're working on, what you've made?
With other people?
Yeah.
Mostly when it's done and finished.
Okay.
Obviously, I do give like a close friends and family members game in like a proper beta, when it's in like a beta state. Because you know, when you work on something for so long, you need someone who's subjective, right? Who has no bias towards the product and knows nothing about it, because you know everything through and through. So your opinion really doesn't count at this point. But other than that, I hate showing like unfinished, unpolished stuff. It helps me as an artist, like.
Yeah, we've been talking about that before, though, for our next project, that we shouldn't do that, because I also have the same issue. You know, you always want to finish everything before you show it, but that's honestly a really bad habit. And like, it's generally better to show things before you're done, or else you get burned out because you don't have any approval from anyone, and then once you finish, you don't have a following. You don't have anyone that is interested once you're finally done. So.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm wondering, should I say something about secrets, Daniel? I think I should, because people won't find it. It's a jam game, nobody has time, but I cannot stop myself doing it.
Yeah.
I love putting some secrets and stuff like that, extra things in games. That's what I love. Like, it's not just the basic, like, even those simple collectibles, when you collect all 20 of them, we have like a pool of really bad dad jokes around plants and vegetables. When you collect all 20, you will get one of those jokes in the credits as a reward for collecting everything, right?
Oh my gosh.
I always try to hide a secret, like in secret level or something, that has something to do with my previous game, jam game. And I think I've done the best one in this game yet, and Daniel didn't find it yet.
Well, I haven't tried yet, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you played and you couldn't.
That's true. I didn't find it before.
Also, this is a new tradition for me, and I've done it after the jam. I've done it today. I always do it, but I like making this like kind of iconographic visual manual. I can post in the bottom, like you could see with the
I
with
saw
the
on the
controls and
itch.io
everything.
page, right?
Yeah, and I posted in Ludum as well. And I remember when
Yes.
I was making it last jam, and I was thinking like, nobody reads manuals. Like, how can I make manuals interesting, right? So make sure people actually read it. And it seems fairly basic, but I think it started with I had like a for my previous game like a list of what you can do, and I think I doubled number 3, right, Daniel? And I just put some random thing like if you read this, if you got to this point, please post melon in the chat, right? Out of nowhere, just in the middle of it, just to see if anyone would actually respond it. And we've got quite a few melons in the comments under that game, and that kind of gave me an idea to like hide a lot of stuff in those manuals. So if someone pays close attention, there are actually 3 secret puzzles in this one to solve. Like, I think you saw one, right? Because it's the most obvious one. You always want one to be obvious, so people even notice there's something extra to look for. Right? You noticed there was a message in cipher.
Yes, I did see that. I see the Morse code image at the bottom.
That one is cool. That's Daniel.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get as many melons in the comments this time because the puzzles are so much harder than they were last time.
Yes, obviously you want to step up, right? You don't want to repeat yourself.
But I don't know if
blame
anyone's
if
going
you
to
don't
solve
find
them
the
all.
last one.
It took me so long to figure that one out.
And you knew there's something to look for, and people don't know what to look for. So the last one is really hard. Like I really. Yeah, you've noticed it.
There's a letter E on the helmet there. There's a letter R in the detail there.
Yeah.
Good luck finding all of them, though.
Okay, there's an O there. My gosh.
Yes, it's
There's an E over here, S over here, U. Are they in order from top to bottom?
Yes.
Okay, use B. You didn't put an O over top of the A. Is that what that is?
How do you think?
Use bomb BOM. I don't see anything between here and the other O. So BOM O.
I would recommend look more to the right.
Oh my god.
Right.
You're already getting this so much faster than I did.
Is that
more to the right, like right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. BOM. Okay, so use bomb. Okay, that is actually like nearly imperceptible to me because my lamp like slightly brightens that edge of the screen. Okay, so use bomb use bomb on where's the next letter? I see a K there. K-E. No, hang on. There's an S as well. But a K. Oh, the fact that these two letters are on the same vertical row is a little confusing. And there's an E is the last letter I can see on the helmet. No, there's a T. There's a T. So T-E-R. Hang on.
I think the one you're missing is the worst one I hidden.
R. There's an R there, and then is it E S? I mean, I assume it's secret. But is it just use bomb on secret? There's the
full
C.
sentence, I believe, is use bomb to unlock secret, right? Because the manual secrets gives you a guide how to unlock the secret in the game.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's another O that you've placed over top of this.
Yes,
Use
I reused
bomb.
that one.
There's
I
the
remember.
U.
Yes.
Oh my
This,
gosh. Okay, and then there's another O. So yeah.
I think
I
there's one on the solar flower icon hidden on one of the
yeah, there's
palettes.
the L.
Yeah, and the C is hidden in the right bottom corner of the tile set where it bends.
Yeah, that one I just noticed.
The C, yeah?
Oh my goodness. This is some ARG levels of
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
So
use
there's like
bomb to wow.
extra game with a game, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's very impressive. It's just also, as you said, like I don't know what you're expecting. How many people are going to find that out?
I'm making it for my
Yeah.
own satisfaction and for my friends because they
Sure.
know what to expect, right?
Oh, there's a I
And
could bomb this.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
an
So before we got too far away from it, I think and Daniel was starting to say this as well. Oh, I can't. Of course, I have to get up here first to get the bomb. So Daniel was
I tell you
starting
something.
to. Yeah.
You're in the room where you can enter the secret from.
Okay. Huh. Well. I'm assuming I have to bomb a wall somewhere. I just don't know where that's going to be.
Like an old Metroid style, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have walls, and you have to just assume where can be something hidden, right? Like,
There
obviously.
we go.
Oh, did you find it?
I did.
Oh, nice. I
How
haven't
do you
seen
like
this
it, Daniel?
yet. That's amazing.
So that's the gold statue is our main playable character from the previous game,
Nice.
and he was based on like a 80s action hero stereotype. Duke Nukem
Yeah.
kind of full of himself, so it only makes sense to give him like a golden statue. Yeah. Funny thing, he didn't have hands in the game, right? He had like a
Yeah.
floaty Rayman
Yeah.
hands on. Well, he didn't have arms; he had hands for
Okay,
holding
yeah.
the gun because the game was top down. So he kind of followed the Enter the Gungeon style, where the hands just attached to the arms.
Gotcha.
That was nice to see him with hands this time around. What was his name? Goose Willis?
Goose Willis.
Yeah.
Honk hard.
Instead
Yes,
of Bruce
like-
Willis.
Yep.
I told you, bad puns is what we love.
Oh, that's very good. Wow. I mean,
Thank you for playing.
I'm glad I was able to showcase one of the little secrets here. I think that's an incredible level of attention to detail, and I guess all I can really say is I hope someday you have an audience that is large enough that you get these like the small subset of people who are willing to dig through these details and find the secrets and unlock all this stuff. But I keep getting
I think-
distracted. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I just want to add, like, I think we all making games, we want to play ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And I love when games hide stuff everywhere and reward people for like exploring and checking every minor detail and corner. So obviously, I want to do it myself. Like, if I don't do it, I feel really, really bad. It's like a bad itch you cannot scratch, right?
Sure, but the thing that I keep trying to say is that, and this is what Daniel started to talk about as well. I think it is very important to be a little more open to sharing what you are working on, and even if stuff isn't finished, there's I think a difference between sharing it with the public at large and maybe finding a community that is somewhere between your like close friends and family and something that is a little more broad than that. Because I think as an artist myself, as a designer, as a pixel artist, like I will also get very hung up on like it's not perfect. I can't share it yet. And then I think you have a very high propensity to get in your own head and spend forever trying to tweak something and then get really burnt out over this feeling of like not like trying to iterate towards perfection. And I haven't had to face depression myself. I have had some days where I've come face to face with imposter syndrome really badly, and I know what it feels like to just like I need to distract myself because I can't be in my own head, but it's thankfully not something I have to cope with very often. So I can't say I have a true solution for that, because for me it's almost like there's nothing I can do on those days. I just need to distract myself, watch some YouTube, binge an anime, whatever, and then I'll just be better the next day. It's not like a long-term, and I know that depression is this huge like blanket term that everyone experiences just a little differently. So I wouldn't put it out there to say like here's advice that worked for me and I would expect it to work for you or for anyone else in particular. But I just wanted to say that I know that one thing that has helped me is to be a part of a few different communities, obviously participating in game jams here and there, just to make some things, doing streams like the one that I'm doing now to talk with people, just to participate a little bit more socially. And I'm also part of a local co-op here in Toronto with other game developers. And I think that that's a good in-between space. Like, I would say that I've gotten to be on quite good terms with all the people in the co-op because it's a pretty small community. But it's just a little different from the people that I would call my regular friend group and family, of course. And I think that, yeah, I just, I wouldn't want you to feel like, again, the work that you've done on this player character is such a clear example, such a clear illustration of something that I think is really good. And I'm sorry to hear that it's not up to your standards, but I think if you had posted this character and you say like, hey, here's a character that I'm working on, I think you'd be surprised with the number of people that would come forward and say like, oh, this is fantastic. And furthermore, even if you did get some people, like, internet is such a double-edged sword this way, you might get some people pointing out exactly the flaws that you feel are like burning in the back of your mind. But you might also get some people saying like, oh, hey, have you thought about like adding this kind of movement, like maybe bring the arm, like you were saying you were trying to work on a walk cycle for the guy. Like, what was it about the
very thick skin?
That's good, and that's very important.
We already published one game, and it was a very hard game. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm this sweet person, because I've got so many lovely comments and feedback and stuff, and just a small amount of people that were really pissed. And it may be saying this, but I enjoyed those comments the most. Like, I really don't take them to myself personally. It's yeah, all my issues were like the character. I had issues with it because I know I can do better because I've done better in the past. That's why I was so disappointed. I'm not saying it's like a bad or something, because if I thought it was bad, I wouldn't even give it to guys, right? It just, I know I could do better, and it just sometimes feels like you downgraded yourself a bit.
That always happens a little bit in jams, though. Like in a jam, nothing can ever be perfect. So, I think it's, for a jam, it's amazing,
I mean, I think we've made, personally, I think it's the best game I made for the jam yet.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of mechanics and everything. And we, like, the funniest thing is, it's our first shot at Metroidvania during the jam. The first one was, you couldn't call it even Metroidvania because it was one singular level. You just were collecting power-ups as you go. It was just straight line, right? And the second one was such a tragedy, and it backfired on us so badly, we actually skipped Ludundara for the next 2 years. And this is our first Ludundara we come back with my friend. Because I've done one in August with Daniel. the person with whom I used to do jams, because I cannot program nothing, I cannot do game on my own, right? Yeah, needed a break, right? Because we failed so miserably. So we promised ourselves, this is not gonna be a Metroidvania. This is not gonna be a massive game with multiple mechanics. It's gonna be some sort of simple mini game thing just to relax and have fun. Sort of like Wario games, Wario parties or whatnot on this collection of short things to do. And we finished up making Metroidvania again. And I'm super glad we did. Because, yeah, as I said, I think this is the best game we've made during 3 days jump so far.
Yeah,
I couldn't be more happy with it.
I'm very glad because I think it still came out like incredibly. Are you doing dynamic shading on the player character, like with the Unity lighting layer?
Check enemies. I think you can see, if you move around, you can see enemies. So it's not my job. It's auto-generated by a program because we obviously have no time for it. But yes, we are playing with like shaders and stuff. So enemies have like dynamic lighting on them that gives this like deep effect.
That is incredible polish for a game jam project.
I mean, there was 3 of us, and all of us did like really well. Like Daniel says it's his first shot at chiptune music, and I think he did a fantastic job. Like, I love those tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing, and yeah, and Bartek managed to finish programming everything on Monday morning. Like, we had so much extra time that never happened before. I mean, guys had, I didn't, but so yeah, hard work, I think, and what I think the most is the experience. I think the fact that we've been doing those games together in the same team for so long, we kind of understand each other. We know what we can do, what we cannot do more, what we like, what we don't like, and we don't need to ask each other very often any questions at all. We like the most we talked is when the jump starts, and maybe you have like 2 calls in between. Longer, that's it. And yeah, it really helps. You know the flow, you know the person. We both use Unity. Our Unity is slightly moderated. Like my programmer, he's such an ambitious guy and such a good programmer. He hated a lot of things that work in Unity, so he programmed his own stuff. Like, we're using our own physics, for example.
Yeah.
And that helps, right? Because you have those tools developed. If someone asks about fonts, I make my own fonts, but I don't know how to make fonts technically. So it's hard. So I basically create like one big PNG file with them, and Bartek wrote his own tool for Unity that turns that one picture into font we can work with.
Yeah.
Without needing to do any sort of vector art or anything like that. And it's simple, fast, and it's painless, for me at least. So that's why I can allow myself to make so many fonts so quickly.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great to have people that you can work together with on a project like that. So I do just want to address the chat real quick that yes, I do stream regularly and try out games. Like, this is in fact a game that I'm trying out and giving feedback on and interviewing the developers, as I said, as should be evident by the other people in the conversation. But yeah, I really this is going to be the last game that I get to tonight. I am 45 minutes past the end of when I said I was going to wrap up the stream.
So sorry about it.
It's okay. It's okay. Because I think this was a very worthwhile conversation. I think that everything that you've talked about in terms of your struggles with trying to like find your motivation on a project, that's something that I've definitely experienced myself, and I'm sure that a lot of people, I hate to say it, but if you haven't yet, you very likely will someday encounter a scenario that is like this, and you just got to try and strategize and find a way to get through it. And the important thing to remember is that you will get through it, that you will move on and be able to create art that you're happy with. It's just, there's going to be some rough days there, and I think it's also incredibly important to remember that everyone goes through that. It is a totally natural thing. Like that, I mentioned that I've dealt with the feeling of imposter syndrome, of feeling like I'm no good at what I'm doing and I'm not qualified to be talking about games and giving feedback, and what am I even doing making games? It's like, no, come on, I've made games, I know people enjoy them. But yeah, just know that it's perfectly natural to have those feelings and those thoughts. So yeah, as Infinite Awesomeness Studio says, it's always tough grinding out the backend code because it feels so exhausting. Like there's just going to be some parts of your game that are more fun to make and other parts that are not.
Oh yeah, the last run is really, really unpleasant.
Yeah, the last like 10% of your game takes 90% of the time.
Oh yes,
and
that's me last year.
Yeah.
It felt like we were on finish line when we talked Christmas 2021. And guess what? It's still not finished. Obviously, we took like a half year of break, not doing much, because we both burnt out. And that's why I had time to join Ludum Dare and met Daniel, which is really fantastic. Do we have time to tell how I met Daniel? Because that's a funny story as well. That may be helpful to some people.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, the last Ludum Dare, the September one, I was not gonna take part in it, right? Because my friend programmer, even though he wanted, he couldn't because he was babysitting his brother's children, right? Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned, I'm a programmer, I can't do it. And I tried jamming with a random person before, and it was a really, really bad experience for me. And I promised myself I'm never gonna do it again. But then the night of Ludum Dare comes in, the theme gets announced, and I'm looking at it, have no plans for weekend, just sitting with myself, and like, I really want to jam. So I kind of posted on Ludum Dare, like, hey, I'm a pixel artist, if anyone's looking for somebody, just hit me. And like Daniel responded in 5 minutes. And now we've made 2 games together, and I really, really, really enjoy working with him. He's a fantastic guy. So I would really recommend, if people don't have teams, don't be shy, go and ask.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen.
That's not something that I would normally ever do, and I'm glad that I did, because normally I only worked with people that I knew in real life, but this time I had the same situation as him, where my friends couldn't make it, and I kind of wanted to do it alone. And I can do most things on my own. I can program, I can make music, but I can't draw very well. So
I'm opposite.
Exactly. So I just happened to see your post, and I thought, like, you said I responded within 5 minutes. I think I saw it right away, and I took like 5 minutes just thinking about it. I was like, should I reach out? And then I checked your profile, and I was like, wow, this art is actually really good. And then so I decided, I was like, why not? So I just did, and I'm glad I did.
I can say the same, because I was like, people who can program impress me straight on. Like, if you can program, you are like almost like a god in my eyes already. Because I've tried myself, I cannot teach myself. I just don't have proper like analytic brain for it.
See, I think the same thing about artists.
And when I learned you can do music as well, you have like a music background, it's like, bro, hard to not have sometimes like the imposter syndrome, like, everyone is so talented, and here you are struggling. But there's one thing, I know I'm stretching your time, I'm so sorry for it.
It's all good, it's worth it.
But I think there's one more important thing to add to what you said about like joining other communities and sharing your work, and those are things I knew for the longest time. It's just hard to break old habits, right?
Of course.
It's hard to. I had websites set up for myself when I was posting my things. When I didn't update it for a year, I think actually my URL just ran out, so it's not even up anymore. And I just cannot like force myself to do anything with it, because even though I have it, it just costs me money, and I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
But there's one more super important thing about like sharing your work and building your own community. It's not only good for your mental health, but I strongly believe if you want to be an indie developer like we are, and you want to make a living out of it, it's really important to start sharing early, to build community before you actually do something major.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, where it's like, if you wait until you're done and then you release it, it could be the best game ever, but nobody's gonna care because nobody is following it.
Yeah.
So
You may get lucky and someone
yeah,
bigger find it, but
you
yeah,
can't rely on that.
I don't like rely on luck. Too fiddly for my
I
taste.
think more often than not, people are so focused on the idea of the finished product, they forget how compelling the story of its creation is. And it's really that story that we connect with. That's what draws us to see, like, oh wow, this thing I've been following for all this time, it's finally finished, and they, you know, check it out. It's like people get invested. They want to share. They want other people to participate in that narrative. They want to see you succeed because they've seen how much time and how much work you've been putting into it all along, and how much it's improved since its inception, how much you've grown, how much your skills have grown, and just like all the feedback and the polish that you've put into something. It's very important.
And
very
I strongly believe in that, because there are some examples. I was like an early player, for example, for a small indie game called Hollow Knight. That game, like the first translations were made by fans on Discord for them, stuff like that. And I remember when the game came out, it didn't sell spectacularly at first. And I remember we in the community, we felt like this game deserves so much more. And it kept on giving and giving, because community is strong. If you make good game and you have strong community, I think there's no chance you're gonna fail. You may not get big hit success at first, but it will slowly, strongly grow and grow and grow, and you're eventually gonna get there.
Yeah,
I think those are like two core components you need for any kind of success.
Persistence is incredibly important for sure, and just having that, like, the willingness to share, the willingness to like put yourself out there, even if it feels daunting at first. Like you said, you have like a pretty thick skin. I think that's very important. Like I know it can be very difficult to share your work because
I'm very lucky that I don't get, like, people cannot get to me.
That's good. That's very good.
I mean, if it's a good feedback, right? Not a hate comment or anything like that. And obviously, I can take it. It's super important to take it, but it's also important on internet to not let people get into your head.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm feeling so. There's this imposter syndrome kicking again. Like, you beating our game like a third time, and I just keep thinking how much time we're taking from other people who games could be played.
Don't worry about it. There's time. I stream every week. There's always going to be an opportunity for me to check out other people's games, so don't worry about it.
I'm super happy you like it.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep playing it because I want there to be like something visually happening on screen so anyone who's just tuning in can see what's going on. But yeah, just I think the conversation that we've been having this whole time, like, I think that is invaluable. And I hope that everyone here has gotten something from it, everyone who's been participating. But I think it's probably best if we do start to wrap things up now. So whether it's this project, if you end up making a post-gen version of it, or whether it's that other game that you're working on, if there is a publicly playable version of it, I would love to try it out, give some feedback, have a conversation like this one, because I realize I haven't really had much in the way of feedback on this particular game. It's mostly been me like giving some small bits here and there, but mostly just about the conversation, which I think is totally cool. But I do think that if we had more time, I would love to get into an even longer conversation about this game.
I really enjoyed our conversation, like, and I'm super happy and glad and very appreciate that you spend your time, so much of your time with us, especially when you said you were in such a rush. I'm definitely down to talk some more, but I only have one bigger game that's finished and released on Newgrounds like 2 years ago, and it's nowhere near the quality of this, and even this one, I think. Super polished, but super simple.
That's why I said even if you had something that's in progress that you're comfortable with sharing, I know that's a whole other conversation, but
why don't you plug your King of Slimes game? I know you're releasing it for free, but I know you keep talking about how you don't want to. You know,
I
you don't
mean,
want to
I
sell any
have
stuff
it.
here, but you spend so
If
much time
you,
on it, and it's good.
I mean, uh, if you check my itch.io page, I have all my games posted there, and I think King of Slime is posted there as well, though it's a jam version as well. So not fully complete. Like if you click on me, go
These
to
are my
Shogun or
games.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your name, because it's only Daniel's name that's hyperlinked at the bottom here. So what's the easiest way for me to get to your? Can you post it in
Uh,
the Twitch chat?
There should
one second.
be.
You have it, Daniel? Okay, I've got it.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
I'm not sure why it doesn't. You have to use an admin.
Oh, great,
I'm
great!
not
I'm
sure why
so
it
good
doesn't.
at copying. God damn it! How to do it?
There we go.
I,
King of
I,
Slimes.
yeah, those are games I've done. Not all of them, but some of them.
Mm-hmm.
The King of Slimes and Drake McDuck and Descent were made for Bracky's Game Jam long before he shut down his channel, basically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think they still run the jams, but I enjoy those more because you have 7 days, and I feel like 7 days is definitely at a time I can use to make more. Like I always want to make more.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game I was creating with other programmer. It was
Nice.
quite painful experience, though. I think we managed to score really high with that game.
Okay. Good to hear. Well, thank you both so much for joining me on the interview portion of the stream. The game itself, super polished. You should be really proud of what you're able to do. Yeah, visually, audio, like programming wise, it all came together super nicely. So, yeah, thanks so
Yeah,
much for coming on to
super
share
super
it.
happy you liked it.
And yeah, I look forward to, you know, let's. I'd love to see what you're working on when you get to a point that you're comfortable with sharing it. And yeah, we gotta wrap things up here for now. But
We're still super close.
let's.
Like I think if we pulled ourselves together, we would finish it in a month. But it's just that's not gonna happen because I really cannot look at the game no more.
I getcha. I getcha. But
Small bits here and there.
yeah, if you're looking for some playtesting, even again, as I said, as long as it's something that you're comfortable with sharing publicly, I'd be happy to take a look at it on the stream.
Happy to share it, definitely.
All right.
And
Sounds good.
With our next project, we're planning on starting a new one. We'll be sure to share that one earlier. Right, Shogun?
Oh yeah, we already talked about this.
Yeah.
You make like an early access kind of experience. But yeah, it's super valuable with some type of games. You have people who play test it for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again. I know it's insanely late where you are now, so thank you for staying up.
I'm a night owl. I usually go to bed around 6 in the morning. Right?
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I work
yeah.
night shifts, so I'm
Okay.
used to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wake up in the mornings. Not really.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the call, and hopefully
Thank you
we'll
for
talk
having
again
us.
soon.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you very
Nice.
much.
Bye-bye for now.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.